Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Side of Sauce podcast. This podcast is hopefully going to start being weekly again. I'm here and I'm joined once again, no fancy intro, with some lovely co hosts of mine. If you guys like to introduce yourselves again.
Is Johnny back again for another episode? Like I swear, every episode.
Back at it.
And Scully.
Of course, the lovely Scully. Xavier couldn't make it. He's out fighting in Ukraine right now. He's fighting for his life right now. I remember him saying. I remember there was a thing. I think Putin made like a commercial. He said Dragon Ball sucks ass, and he just decided it was no more. He couldn't take it, and so now he's out there fighting.
Yeah. Well, after he lost his black belt, after his black belt was taken away, he hated anything even remotely related with like that style of
that martial arts
fighting stuff. So.
Yeah. So now
martial.
Xavier sent us a letter. He said he's on his
So anything
personal
related to martial arts.
conquest. He said he's on a personal conquest right now. So hopefully he'll be back next time.
He said he drafted himself. I think.
He said
He said he drafted himself.
I think he didn't even get drafted. I think he literally just stole a helicopter and flown himself over to fucking Russia. I think.
Yeah, with makeshift weaponry.
Yeah, with makeshift weaponry, and he's wearing he's wearing that the iconic Dragon Ball shirt. He jumped down. No, nothing else, just the shirt. He's not wearing anything else, and good luck to him. Honestly. Oh yeah, Gabe
Well,
here
you
too.
forgot to mention the 45 pounds of C4. The 45 pounds of C4 straps is just you forgot, bro. More details.
It was a surprise. It was supposed to be a secret. We weren't supposed to let them know.
Well, remember, they're in different time zones, so they won't know about it.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm waiting for the laugh. I was waiting for the laugh. I was like, come on, man, that's a joke. I'm not serious.
Come on, man. I can't just do the laugh. You gotta do the thing. Alright, so last time we didn't actually get to everything because we kind of went off on a crazy tangent, if you will, about the lore of Teletubbies. But we're back here. We even have a little
Good stuff.
Good stuff. We even have a little bit of new stuff to discuss. I think there was a trailer for Miss Marvel. I think. I know you don't seem.
Was there?
There was. I know you don't seem.
I keep missing trailers. Yeah.
I know you don't seem to be the biggest fan of it. I don't know. I
Who,
saw
me?
that. Yeah.
I haven't seen. I didn't even know that had come out.
Oh, I just remember you posting a meme and it's like, who fucking cares? I was like, oh. But yeah.
Oh no, there was a meme about Miss Marvel, but I didn't know that was related to a trailer.
Oh yeah, there is a trailer. There's a trailer out for Miss Marvel right now, and it looks fine. It looks cute. It's perfectly serviceable.
One of my favorite characters in Ultimate Alliance was Miss Marvel. So yeah,
Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel?
Miss Marvel.
Oh, okay. But yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't know if you know this about it, but they actually changed her powers in the show. So she's not the stretchy.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, she doesn't have like the stretchy limbs anymore. She now has what is essentially just Green Lantern. She's essentially like a Green Lantern. She has like fucking weird cosmic.
That's kind of cool.
Bending of reality kind of stuff. It's cool.
That's kind of neat, though.
It's kind of neat. I'm still kind of upset that they changed it at all, honestly. But
remember in the one X-Men movie where they totally just changed Kitty Pryde's power to being like time telepathy?
Yeah.
The one X-Men movie, man. Dude, and then they changed it back again.
What is time telepathy?
Because remember, she can mess with Wolverine and send his consciousness back in time or whatever.
I thought she just sent him back in time.
Maybe she did, but whatever. But yeah, she can just randomly do that now with her ability. Consciousness back to his older body. But either way, like, she can do that. But when usually she can just walk through walls.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I guess that works.
Yeah, good stuff. You just like completely just like throughout the entire part of that. But
oh, my bad, bro.
No, you're good. You're good. Internet is a bitch. I get it. But speaking of things that recently came out that we were kind of discussing a little bit before we got on the air, was I know Scully saw the Uncharted movie. I haven't seen it.
Yes.
I wasn't. I might go see it if it's still in theaters and like I might if I have a free time. But it's not my main priority right now. But I know you have some thoughts on it. What were your thoughts on the Uncharted movie?
I thought it was fun. It didn't necessarily have a great story, and the characters didn't really look like they do in the game. But I thought it was pretty fun, honestly.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that they got Nathan Drake as Tom Holland. He really doesn't look anything like him.
I will say that Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland I thought worked together really well.
Oh, they work together pretty. Yeah, I can see that they have pretty good chemistry. I can see it.
I always assumed it was kind of their take on them being much, much younger. I don't know.
That might be true. I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know.
Well, they just appear younger than they do in the games. I haven't played the games. At one point I watched the walkthrough for a couple, I think
I
4 and
did.
3.
I did play through most of Uncharted 4, and it was really fun. I haven't beaten that game yet. There's so many good
Oh, yeah.
games. Speaking of good games that are just coming out of the wazoo recently, we've had in the span of last month, we've had so many good games come out. Like we've had that Destiny expansion for you guys. I know you guys really love
Oh
Destiny.
yeah,
What is it? The witch,
Witch Queen,
the witch queen.
the Witch Queen.
What is your guys' take on that? So like compared to like all the other DLCs that you guys had, because I know a couple other people who play Destiny a lot.
Mhm.
I don't, but they say it's one of their favorites or even the best.
I would say objectively, it's probably the best one that's come out. I like the past one, the one of the Ice Planet or Ice Moon Europa more, but that's like personal preference. But objectively, this one is probably the best. It gives us a longer story campaign than usual. It gives you the ability, which unlike before, you couldn't replay these missions in all like consecutively. You can just do that now, and it gives you different modes to play them on. And there seems to be a lot more content than normal. They give you weapon crafting abilities and like all sorts of cool stuff. And they reworked one of the old free elements, the void, which is like kind of like dark matter or gravity almost.
Yeah,
They totally reworked it just for free and just added that in alongside this.
that's pretty neat. I probably should. I should probably at least give Destiny a chance.
You should.
I just haven't been getting into the grinding portion of that game. And then there's
It's not so much grinding. It's kind of like the grinding you would do in D&D. It's very much space D&D cowboys.
is it?
I wouldn't go that far, but
It's got okay. Well, the aesthetic of it is like a sci-fi, obviously.
Yeah.
So it's like set on Earth.
well,
or
just
planet
just
space.
gameplay wise is different. D&D is not necessarily just a pure fighting game. It's an exploration
Oh, no.
game. Making
Yes,
stories.
you are correct. There's different game types, but it has the aesthetic or the charms. A lot of that, like it's very fantasy based with the lore elements. The lore elements are far more fantasy than they are even sci-fi. Mostly, like the technology they get, it's more or less a magic. It's a light source, and the enemy they fight is this dark being, this darkness.
Yeah.
So, like, it is very sci-fi or very fantasy. And it gives me D&D vibes in like the good way, not in the cringe D&D lately vibes.
Cringe. I think isn't it made by Bungie, the same people who did Halo?
It is indeed.
Yeah.
They were the ones that did Halo originally. Yeah.
Yeah. There's just I don't know. I've been putting off getting into Destiny 2 a whole lot. I know because you guys have been like, "Oh, get on it, get on
Mhm.
it," and it's the grinding is one thing, and then I don't know how you guys feel about the story or the lore of Destiny. It looked to me, from what little I've seen, it was like back when Destiny 2 first released too.
Mhm.
I don't think it looks that interesting. The story, the gameplay looks.
Oh, yeah.
So
The Scully.
story wise, I'm gonna be honest with you. The launch of Destiny 1 was probably one of the worst stories we've had in Destiny. The Red War campaign was pretty terrible. The story's improved a lot, but the lore, like if you're a person who likes deep lore, Destiny has really good, interesting deep lore. The story's gotten a lot better. I'm not going to say it's like a great story, but it's definitely much more serviceable. But the lore is really interesting.
Okay.
But the story has improved. It's not perfect, but it is much better than Red War.
Yeah, I remember a lot of discussion going on back in the when
How would you
Destiny. Hmm?
how would you compare it compared to Halo lore, Maddie? Or Scully? Sorry, shoot.
I'm not familiar with the Halo lore, so I can't
Okay, well, what
really.
do you see of it then? Or like, what would you compare lore wise to it? Like quality and like level of
Um,
World of Warcraft, maybe?
I haven't played World of Warcraft, so I don't know about that. It gives me the same vibes as Warhammer War. I guess sort of like how you do for D&D. It's not necessarily
Yeah.
the same, but it gives off the same vibes. Where
Yeah.
there's a lot of different, species and big events in history and ancient wars and all sorts of stuff that you can
That makes
read
total
about and
sense.
learn about.
Mhm.
And interesting stuff too, not like boring stuff.
That's
It's
a good analogy
obviously
because like
it's obviously a lot different from Warhammer, and you could argue about whether it's got better or worse quality, but it gives out the same sort of feeling.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where you go and watch half an hour videos dissecting it.
That's a good point because it kind of reminds you of like Destiny. There's tons of lore in the past that you never experienced. You just hear about through tales and fables, kind of like Warhammer, where the majority of the big stuff happens, and then you have the present stuff, which is good and all, but it's not as good as that old stuff you hear about.
Yeah. I'm struggling what to like think about it because like when thinking about like Warhammer lore is so. I've never read lore like that it made me so excited to read more. Like I don't know, because when
It
remember
would okay. See, I think you think of Warhammer the same way. Warhammer is probably my favorite like IP I've heard of in the past like 2 decades, honestly. But like that's like a thing I know that's just me being objective. It's not objectively the best IP or whatever. So yeah, it doesn't have that much of a grip like Warhammer where you just cannot get enough. At least I can never get enough of it. I mean, I literally just bought a Krieg audiobook. It's fantastic. My guy. So you know it. I literally brought miniatures with me on vacation up here, and I have them on my floor right now where I was painting them like a little crab hunched over. Like, dude. So no, Warhammer is an addiction, but like Destiny is not quite there. But damn, man, like it's not even that the grind is. There's not a lot of grind. It's that when you get hooked on it, you don't even care that you're grinding. I've already put 1,300 hours into there, and I'm still going.
I'll play it. I'll give it a try. I believe you guys. But some other games that we also had recently come out. I don't know if any of us have actually played this game. Elden Ring. Insane.
I have indeed.
Launch. Crazy. This is one of the biggest launches for a video game that I've experienced personally in a long while. Like, people that I know who don't ask about video games or talk about it are talking about Elden Ring. It's insane. So you've played Elden Ring, right? Johnny?
I have played. Okay, truthfully, I've played about the tiniest smidgen.
Mm-hmm.
I got it up, I got it running, I started it. I didn't even get a first death yet. I was still exploring around and doing stuff.
Yeah.
So the fact that I haven't died yet says something.
Yeah.
That game, you die a lot.
Apparently. Yeah, I remember the only Dark Souls game I've ever played, because it is in the entry of the Souls, is Dark Souls 3. I remember my stepsister making me play that game and fighting the first boss, and I got about halfway through and I died because I got hit twice.
Yeah, those games are not very forgiving. I have Dark Souls on the Switch, the remastered first one.
Yeah. And
I want to love it so bad. I love the idea of it, but it is so very hard.
Yeah, it's a very hard game.
I think Elden Ring's a lot more fair because the one problem with Dark Souls is it's usually fair, but there's too much. There's a bit of jank every now and then, and so with that jank comes tons of opportunities to be or feel unfair at least. Mm-hmm. Elden Ring's so jank free that it's like you're on a level playing field. And they've also supposedly increased all the different ways you can do stuff.
Yeah. And of course, with the release of a new Dark Souls game, a new Souls entry from Software, comes again the great discussion of difficulty topics in video games and whether they should be mandatory or not. I don't know if you guys have ever thought about that. Having like if it's necessary for games like Dark Souls or Elden Ring or even more simpler games, maybe like a Kirby game, to have a hard mode or easy mode, if they should by default. What do you?
Hmm.
Yeah, like what do you think about that?
So my thoughts on that are that it really is not that big a deal. For example, like you guys heard the game Sifu that recently came out?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard of it.
Yes, so it's a pretty hard game, and the developers decided to add an easy mode so that players could like play through it actually.
Hmm.
And a lot of people were like upset, like this ruined Sifu and stuff. And so I disagree. I don't think devs should be forced to add easy modes if they don't want to, because that can take a lot of hard balancing and tweaking to make sure everything still feels fun. But I also
Mhm.
don't think it's a problem if they want to add one. It's just really like it's not a big deal.
Yeah,
But I know there's some people who are
Mhm.
like, oh, there shouldn't be an easy mode at all. It's like if the devs want to, that's fine. But like if they don't want to, that's also fine.
yeah, I agree with that.
What
You like,
what I'd have to say,
what were you
Mhm.
saying?
oh, if I would have to agree with that, I'd say yeah. It's like is the for Dark Souls the struggle and sheer like willpower you have to exert and just repetitive practice and grind and that muscle memory. That's what the real skill is and what you're getting out of the game, not the completing mission stuff. You're like learning all these move sets and movements and everything and animation cues. So you're learning all that stuff. And that's like the game itself, as opposed to some other games like Call of Duty. That's not the games. The game's supposed to be a shooter. It's not to learn an intrinsically deep, move system and everything. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I agree with basically what Maddie said because like for me,
Yeah.
it's when you create a game based on like a certain difficulty like Dark Souls, you want the game to be hard. Making it easier to me kind of like it goes against what they want. They design it in a way specifically so it'd be hard, it'd be difficult for like a player to overcome that challenge. It's much harder to like balance something like Dark Souls in an easy mode than say something like a Doom Eternal easy. In Doom Eternal, it's a little bit easier to fucking make an easier mode than it is for like Dark Souls. So that's what I think about it.
True. That's pretty true.
I always think it's interesting when this conversation comes up because it's like a lot of people have bad takes about it, and I just want to spit my good ones. But
Facts.
another thing I wanted to say, I wasn't even planning on talking about this until it was brought up before we started recording. You both have not seen Shrek, right?
Yeah.
I,
Neither of us have seen Shrek.
I still think that's so fucking crazy. Have you like not seen the first one or like all of them?
None. I've seen
None.
a smidget here or there. Like I've seen like videos like memes and stuff, but I remember seeing part of maybe the first one or and maybe one of the other ones for like a little bit at certain points, but that's it. Maybe 30 minutes in total.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's so fucking wild. I remember Shrek being like a cultural thing, like for kids for like a period of time because it was like from like whenever that movie released. I think it was 2001, all the way up until like the late 2000s, early 2010s. That was like a cultural event. Every movie was trying to be like, well, every animated movie was trying to be like Shrek. And I remember because we had shitty knockoff movies like Chicken Little by Disney.
Oh God.
I don't know if you guys remember Chicken Little. That
I
movie's
do.
something else.
No, I haven't
I
seen that
haven't
one
even-
either.
I've only seen the first 20 minutes of that one though. I haven't seen the full thing actually.
That
And
movie's fucking depressing when you think about it. Because it's about this little
is kinda
it's
sad.
about this little kid who just wants to impress his dad, and his dad's only impressed when he does baseball, and then he tries to impress him by doing that, and then once he starts going crazy talking about the sky again, he said, nah, fuck this kid. I don't know who he is. His dad was not a real one. Fucking crazy. Alright.
His dad was kind of lame.
Kind of lame. Kind of cringe, honestly. Let me look, because I know I asked a couple people before we got on the air. A couple questions that we have for the podcast. Let me look through my things real quick. Okay. We do have a couple questions. Some of them are going to be a little bit older because we didn't get to them.
Mm-hmm.
So just bear with me. We'll get to the questions. Some of them I'm not going to read the name out because some people want to remain anonymous. But the first one we have is from a good friend of mine, Batman Beyond 121. One of my,
You're friends with Batman and you haven't introduced me yet?
of course not. I can't introduce you. I don't even know who he is. I just know he's Batman.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Fair enough.
He asked the question, what is the size of your no. He asked, what is your favorite Jurassic Park quotes? And it got me thinking. It got me thinking a little bit. Because when I watch Jurassic Park, I don't really think about like the big massive, like I don't think of quoting Jurassic Park usually. That's not like the big thing for me. Like the only quote I can really think of off the top of my head is "Life finds a way." That's the big one.
Okay, do you want to hear my favorite quotes?
What's your favorite quote?
When Dr. Grant asks Ian Malcolm, "Are you married?" and Ian Malcolm just kind of calmly turns to him and says, "Oh, from time to time." It's just so aimlessly, just like Jesus Christ. But truthfully, anything else he says, pretty much in that movie or in the second book, my God, the part where he's like high on morphine and he's just rambling about life, his existential misery is so good and so funny. I was weak, man. So I love that entire like chapter or whatever it is too.
Dr. Ian Malcolm is fucking. He's a fucking blast to be with on screen. He's just such a funny guy. Like
He really is.
And I really think it is all down to Jeff Goldblum in the first movie. I think that's really what sold him. Because I believe the second book was made after the first movie, right?
I do not actually know.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, because I believe it was. Because I believe he made the book and then afterwards they were like demanding a sequel. And so he made a book, but even at the end, Spielberg was like, fuck you, I'm not going to follow this shit. And so he just made something else. But
I ain't gonna lie, the first book is by far better because it's just a better narrative. But my God, I love the second book so much still. Like it's there's so many crazy parts that are just great in it, man. Can you disagree?
The second book is wild. The second book is nuts. But the first one is better. I will admit, the first one is better. I do kind of wish that we do get a scene of, in the future Jurassic Park movies, we get a scene of the raft scene. Where,
dude, you're right. The second book did come out after the movie.
Yeah.
Not to interrupt, but like, wow.
Crazy.
Listen, look at me. I remember shit. But yeah, like
What happened September 11th? Most of the
ketamine.
wind.
But yeah, like fuck, what was I saying? Oh, the fucking raft scene.
That would be great.
That would be amazing to see that. Oh yeah, do you remember the original death for fuck, what's that character? Why is his name blanking on me? He's the guy who steals the fucking DNA and tries to get away, but he gets killed.
Oh, you're talking about Ned?
Yeah,
not
Ned.
Nedry, Ned.
I mean, it's very similar to the movie. It's just they go into more detail.
Yeah, it's way more.
In the book,
It's way more fucked
it's
up.
way more graphic. That is like a violent death. That is terrifying.
Yeah, that's what I just said. They just go into more detail.
Scully's agreeing because he read the books before any of us did.
Oh yeah,
But
Yeah.
the books they describe it more graphically, but it is pretty much the same.
Yeah, you
How
know, he's
about
driving
what
down the
happened
road,
to-
Dilophosaurus spits in his eyes, gets him.
yeah, the Spinosaurus, not the Spino, the Dilophosaurus spits in his eyes, and then he like goes blind, and he's running around, and then he gets picked. He doesn't get picked up. He gets sliced
No, they
in his
cut
stomach.
his stomach open.
Yeah, they slice
Yeah,
his
they-
stomach, and then he's like crawling, and then he grabs like the foot of the Dilophosaurus, and then it picks him up in his jaws and it kills him, and it's so fucking terrifying. I will be serious. That is the first time I've ever been scared reading a book.
Listen, that is exactly what I was gonna say. The second book, especially, but the first book, countless times, it became so stressful. I could not continue. It's like scary. I could have to either to listen to it on an audiobook or read it because I've read and listened to both. But like literally, sometimes I had to pause the audiobook because I was like, I'm not gonna be able to sleep. I'm too fucking scared, or I'd have to put the book down and be like, listen, man, I'm not breathing. I'm just terrified. Like I've never heard a book do that to me. Like what? Especially when I was like 17 when I read that or whatever, 18. Like stuff doesn't do that anymore, you know?
That's terrifying, especially because they described the Dilophosaurus was like in the book at least. It was much bigger than it was on film too. I think it was
Yeah, the one on film was a baby apparently.
yeah, just a little baby. Yeah. I didn't know that until like a while ago too. I didn't know that was supposed to be a baby Dilophosaurus on screen. I thought it was like a full grown one. But once I read the book, I was like, yo. How big is
Do you remember the Carnosaurs in the second book? Those
ones that
things
go
literally
invisible?
scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those things literally had me stressing out about taking the trash outside after reading this book as a 9 or 17, 18, 19-year-old
Oh my
man.
God.
I was
Listen.
like, shit, I can't take the trash out no more. Like, the cars was going to fuck me up.
When I first watched Jurassic Park when I was 6, I think, 6 or 7, and up until I was about 15, I did not take the trash out at night because I was so scared that a velociraptor was going to jump out of the bushes. That's how effectively that movie scarred me, terrified me.
But I was little, I saw it. So, like, you know those, like, Walking with Dinosaurs or whatever?
Mhm.
So there's one of those IMAX. It's a movie instead. That's like, I can't remember. I think it's called Sea Monsters or something like that. And it's a 3D experience of watching sea monsters like float around and kill each other, like classic dinosaurs like Kronosaurus and Plesiosaurs and whatnot. Like in these graphic, creepy, terrifying ways. Megalodon. And it's go through, and so it's all 3D. I saw that as a kid and read a bunch of these. Got these National Geographics with tons of really creepy pictures of those in it. So like to this day, I don't even like murky water, man. I'm just like, nope, no, man. So I feel that, dude.
I
To
think
this day,
I think the most ridiculous thing I've ever been scared by as a kid is there used to be this show called My Babysitter is a Vampire. And it was just like it was like this dude and like his babysitter who was a vampire obviously. They went around like stopping like monsters essentially on I think it was like a
Mhm.
Disney Channel thing. But there was an episode where someone put like a spell on like a little baby crocodile and then they flushed it down the toilet and it cuts back to a
Whoa,
couple
what?
Yeah, it cuts back to a couple months later. And it's like this guy he goes to sit down on the toilet and then a crocodile emerges from like this like the fucking earth and clamps down and eats him.
Jeez.
I remember being terrified to use the bathroom for like a year afterwards.
Oh man, I feel that.
That was like the most ridiculous thing I've ever been scared by as a kid, though. I think everything
For some
else.
reason, like I like the scary stuff for some reason as a kid. Like, did you ever watch those shows like Monster Quest or whatever, or like
I did.
River Monsters?
I did watch Monster
Dude.
Quest.
Did you watch River Monsters?
My dad watched River Monsters a lot because he was the fishing guy. So I essentially watched it too.
Yeah.
I liked River
Yeah.
Monsters because they actually caught the monster a lot of the time.
That stuff was actually dope. But like as a kid, those things terrified me, man. Like I was so scared to go in the pool because a catfish might get me. Like as a little 7-year-old, like, oh shit, is there a werewolf gonna sneak out and grab me? Like Jesus Christ.
I remember there was this show called I don't know if you guys watched it on Animal Planet. It was called Lost Tapes. That show fucked me up as a kid because it was like I was a dumbass kid and I didn't read the beginning part. I
Dude,
was saying-
Lost Tape sounds like some FNAF fan game.
It does. It really does. But there's a beginning title card that I didn't read because I was like, I'm too cool to read. So I didn't. When I was a kid, I thought they were real. I thought like the whole Lost Tapes things was real. That they actually like went out and found these tapes and they were monsters. I didn't read the part saying that this is fake and this is made up.
Do you want to hear something just as bad,
What?
bro? The first time I ever heard of a creepypasta, it was like a bunch of different ones for like Disney shows like Adventure Time and My Little Pony being based off like this horrific tragic event and just slightly inspired by it or whatever. So like I little like 13-year-old me dead ass believed that like fucking Jake the dog and the human were based on a kid dying of cancer in a hospital or whatever the fuck. And I was like, oh yeah, the My Little Ponies are named after these people that got shot in a school shooting or whatever. Like I just dead ass believed it.
You tell me My Little Ponies aren't named after people who died in a shooting?
That's what the creepypasta was, or something like that. But I'm not kidding, bro.
Those aren't even creepypastas. It's like shitty fan theories.
It really is, though. Like, it really is.
You just opened up my mind when I was a kid and I first discovered creepypastas. I remember there was this one that I was obsessed with that terrified me. I don't know why it was called this. It was called The Pocket. I don't know why they called it this, but it was just like this animal that lived in the woods and would come up to you. It would break into your house and it would like steal the skin off of your face and wear it and then like run away. It was the. It's so stupid.
There are about, honestly, like, some creepypastas are pretty bad. There's plenty of bad ones. But there is a handful of ones that are so good. Like, I could genuinely give you, like, 5 right now that if you listen to, you'd be blown away. Like, because there are some really good ones.
What are some good creepypastas that you've listened to at least?
Okay, one of my absolute favorite ones is, it's a big series or whatever. It's like the classic one, Pen Pal. That one's pretty good. I think it's by, like, Mr. Creepypasta or some other dude that has that very similar name you can't tell apart.
Yeah.
But it's just a series called Pen Pal. It documents a kid's life growing up, and it's pretty good and pretty compelling. It's not necessarily horror, or you'd have to see it. The other good one would be the, what's the one? I used to work as a cleaner or something like that, or I used to clean houses. Some crap like that. I'd have to find it, but that one's a really good one, and Baraska is a really creepy one.
I always find it so funny that like creepypastas, even like the good ones, they always have the fucking worst titles. Like nobody knows how to title a damn thing. Like, imagine writing this really good story and then titling it "I used to be a fucking cleaner, a house cleaner or something." Like you could do so much more. I feel like
Honestly.
there's so much more you could do with it, and you, I don't know. I need the creepypasta community to step up their game.
Oh, no. It's a different title. I forgot. There's this one. It says, "Be careful whose messes you clean up." That's what it's called.
Oh.
But it's still bad.
Still bad. Still terrible. I probably would be able to bet that it probably is written pretty decently. But like I don't remember I don't remember the titles of most of like the
You want
creepypasta.
to hear another one I just found?
What?
I took a temp job cleaning neckbeard nests. What?
That's all I need to hear for the creepypasta. That's terrifying. You
I
clean.
do remember this other really dope one. It was about the Black Death or the plague,
Mhm.
and it was more like a conspiracy theory type thing, talking about instead of the plague doctors curing the plague, they were secretly spreading it for some whatever reason. But it's just very eerie and pretty well, as I remember from younger, pretty well documented or whatever for like a story.
Yeah. Most of like the creepypastas that I remember that I think are actually pretty well. I unfortunately don't remember the titles of them. I remember the main plots of them, but I don't remember the titles of them. I remember there was my favorite one that I heard. It was like this town that had like a fog come over it, and then people started going missing into the town until it was just these 2 families left, and then like they both went insane, but the kids managed to like run away, as their families are like trying to hunt them down. And it's really fucking cool and like intense. Like the plot sounds stupid as I'm describing it, but it's actually pretty fucking
Yeah, I know
good.
what you mean though.
Yeah, it sounds stupid, but it's actually pretty good. But yeah, I just need creepypasta titles to be fucking better. I can't do more of this "I cleaned a neckbeard's nest" type shit.
The
But
problem is I find with like so many times I'll put on a creepypasta to listen to it. Instead, it's just really bad, either poorly written or poorly like recorded or something, or maybe it's just not gripping, or sometimes they even just like I'm just like, yo, that's really kind of fucked up. Like I'm not interested in hearing about this kind of shit.
you know what's
So it's
sad
like-
though? Half of
It's so hard to find good.
half of the entertainment of a creepypasta is the person who's reading it. Like, if you don't have a good reader, your creepypasta could be written extremely well. It could probably be the best one I've ever heard. But it could be dog shit to me because, like, the reader, the person who's reading it, has no enthusiasm, doesn't care anything about it, or just kind of sucks at it. I feel like
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
I feel like it's a lot of
But honestly, I think that it's different. It's generational because people back in the day they didn't get these recordings that we do on YouTube. They had
yeah,
to
definitely.
read them themselves off text boards. It's crazy.
That's definitely true. There's definitely a difference between like creepypastas from like 2010 to 2013, and then like 2014, 2016, and then like 2017 to current day. There's like that. There's like that three different generations, I think, of like people who.
That's true.
You had the.
What was I going to say?
The early ones were like
Mhm.
they just take something and then they would like, and then there was death like Sonic.exe.
Oh, I hate any of the like ones that are based off cursed somethings, like cursed game, cursed whatever. Those ones usually are so cringe.
They
Cursed
really
movie.
are. Even as
No
a
man,
kid,
nobody wants to hear about Ben Drowned.
when I was a kid and I heard Bench Round, Sonic.exe, fuck, what was the Mario one? There was a Mario one, but like when I heard them, I was like, even as like a kid, like 10 years old, I was like, this is sucks. This is cringe. Not based, not red pilled.
You know, have you ever read those online things? They're like the it'd be like at least on YouTube. There are videos of someone's recording of like really great threads from 4chan or whatever, different boards,
I don't
and
think,
like there's some of them are really good, and they're like I'm pretty sure most of them are like role play or whatever. Someone this like, hey man, I'm a whatever, like ask me some questions about the job or the life or whatever. But there's some that are like really funny, but most of them are just pretty cool. But the first one I ever heard, it was one, and it starts out pretty generic, like my girlfriend broke up with me or whatever, and it escalates into this taking over a small country with like chimpanzees armed with guns. Like it's a joke, but you don't realize it at first. So I'm like building Legos or whatever, and I was listening to this thing, and it just gets really funny. It gets funny, and then I start like nearly pissing myself as I run to the bathroom because I got to pee so bad. It's so fucking funny. I'd have to see if I can find it.
from Think Gink Navavoind. I think that's how you say it. I'm really sorry, but this name sucks. Why has it become normal for games to be released when they are not finished?
I can answer that one real quick.
Yeah, what's your take on that?
Because people buy them when they're not finished.
Thank you.
That's pretty much it. People will buy them if they're not finished, so they'll release them.
Yeah,
It just makes them more money.
that is true. A lot of we've become accustomed. I don't know why. People have become accustomed to like this sense of like, oh, they're gonna release a game and it's gonna be dog shit, but then they're gonna fix it after like a couple months. I know that happened for the first Destiny. I know they did that with Anthem. I know they've done that with Assassin's Creed. They've done that with a bunch of games. And I really wish I really wish this practice would stop. But the only
I think the reason is because what's it called? Product as or whatever you call it, like where you have like a game service.
Mhm.
That wasn't a possibility, let alone even a concept back in the day. But now it is, so it makes it a possibility. And so therefore, some people are going to fuck up, other people less so than others, and then it just creates an sour taste in their mouths.
It's like when people complain about loot boxes. Like, the only reason loot boxes are like still a thing, and they're like, or even Game Pass. Sometimes when people complain about that, the only reason it's still a thing is because people keep buying it, and most of the time the people that are complaining are the people who are still buying it. So like, to me, you just have to use you as a consumer, you have to pay with your wallet. You have to like vote with your wallet. I think that's the phrase.
Yeah, that's the phrase.
Yeah, you have to vote with your wallet, like what you want, because like, if you don't want something, just don't buy it. And like most likely, if enough people do that, like you won't have that product anymore, and people will change it. Or you could just bully a studio.
Enough.
Or you could just bully a studio.
Yeah, but the thing about bullying a studio is like it lasts a little while, and then people move on.
I don't know. They bullied the fucking Paramount studio to change that Sonic movie design. It worked pretty damn well.
Yeah, but the thing is Paramount changed the design pretty fast, or they announced they were going to.
Yeah, they did. I think it was literally the second day that trailer was out, or the day.
See, if Paramount had held their ground, people probably would have forgotten.
Yeah, probably been lost to the wayside as another shitty video game movie.
Yeah.
And which is a surprising like hefty bout. We have like the original Mario movie. We have those Lara Croft Tomb Raider movies. Have you guys?
Yeah,
seen...
and then there's the new Lara Croft movie, which I didn't.
I've never.
Was that any good?
I didn't see it. I didn't hear anything about it. I saw one trailer for it and then never again.
Same. There was that really bad Doom movie, or two of them actually.
Wasn't there one with Dwayne The Rock Johnson?
Yeah, there's one with a girl and then one with The Rock. And I heard they were both pretty bad.
I mean, if it's with Dwayne The Rock Johnson, how could it be bad?
Oh, pretty easily.
But yeah, I don't know what is this with this recent obsession with turning video games into like movies or TV shows, because we're also getting the Halo series soon. We're also getting a
It's
Halo.
because video games are one of the biggest entertainment industries right now.
It is right now, but I really wish people would like stop doing it, because to me personally, this is my own opinion. I think most video game stories suck, but they work. The reason they work the way they do is because they're in a video game specifically, and that's the reason why they work, because it's tandem around the video game and the gameplay and all that kind of stuff. And even more cinematic games. Like, I know they're coming out with the Last of Us TV show. I think that's kind of pointless, because The Last of Us already is like a TV show or a movie that you could just play. It's not a very hard game, especially too. You could literally, it's like you could just even watch the cutscenes too at that point if you really don't want to play the video game. It just seems so pointless to me, because like the thing that you want to see is already out. You're just now paying to see it with higher budget actors.
See, I'll be honest. I think that makes a lot more sense than something like Sonic or Mario. If I'm being honest.
Mario, yeah, I don't get why there's a Mario movie. Although, I know, cringe opinion, I think Sonic actually kind of works as a TV show, at least. Not a movie, but a TV show. It actually kind of works.
Yeah, like I think most video games though could work as like an animated TV show. You know.
I think Sonic could even work as a movie franchise. It kind of well, we're about to see. We're about to see if it does. With the second one. But I think the main problem with a lot of these video game adaptations into TV shows and movies is you just have people who don't give a shit. You just have a lot of them. Like, we just had like there was just a article written about the guys who made Halo, and they said we didn't even play the video games. We stayed far away from them because something about how they didn't want the fucking video game part of the Halo universe to mess up with their story. Some bullshit. Like,
I'll be honest, it's not necessarily a bad thing when someone's not familiar with the source material, but it also is sort of a red flag at the same time. I know that doesn't make a lot of sense, but like, there have been people who have no idea like what the thing is. Like, the guy who directed The Empire Strikes Back wasn't familiar with sci-fi or Star Wars at all.
mm-hmm.
But he did like one of the best Star Wars movies, you know?
It does make sense, because the guy who made Tim Burton's Batman, Tim Burton doesn't give a shit about Batman, but Batman '89 is still a really good movie, you know?
Yeah.
I think it comes down to, if you don't care about the source material, you have to have a really good idea, and you also have to be really talented.
Like, yeah, that's the thing. It's like, will these Halo creators be talented?
Because like,
I think
yeah, Tim Burton didn't give a shit about Batman when he made the movie, but like, he's Tim Burton. Like, he doesn't need to give a shit. Like, he can just understand the baseline opinions and not opinions, the baseline like elements of Batman. He could just know that, and he could probably make something pretty good out of that. That's why I think personally, Batman '89 is it's a good film, but a bad Batman film, if that makes sense.
That does, in a way. Yeah.
That's how I feel about that movie. I think
I've never actually seen it, to be honest, so I'll disagree with you on it.
Oh wait, Scully.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Batman?
Oh yeah, dude. I saw it. I think I was the second of us to see it.
Yeah.
I think you were the first.
I think
no, James saw it before me.
Oh, that was James again.
Yeah, I saw it like the day after you did, James.
Yeah, I saw it because my girlfriend has the AMC like movie theater thing. I got to see it March 1st.
Damn, I got to see the 3rd.
Yeah, like one of the like first premieres of it. And let me tell you, that movie's really fucking good.
Dude, it's so good. Oh my god.
Honestly, yeah, let's just talk about the Batman, because like we have I forgot like everybody here has seen it. I've just been like not talking about it. But now that we have everyone here has seen it, and everyone here really likes it.
Dude, it was fire.
The Batman is so good.
I was so worried they were gonna screw it up, dude. Like, I was so scared.
I was scared too for a little bit when I heard about I knew like most of the reasons why like it was being pushed back was because of the quarantine. But even still, when I hear a movie's getting pushed back and then reshoots also, I get scared.
Well, I believe Robert Pattinson himself actually caught COVID on the set. I might be wrong, but I heard that somewhere.
I know Matt Reeves Matt Reeves currently has it. God bless him. Hope he does okay. But
Who did he play in the film? Oh, he was the director. He's the director.
yeah,
I'm an
he's the
idiot.
director.
God
think
damn it! I'm such an idiot.
I think that's fine, man. Like, I think Robert Pattinson did at some point during filming catch it.
Yeah, so like it kind of makes sense, you know.
But let me say,
Oh
I just
shit!
recently been reading a whole bunch of Batman comics too. I've been reading The Court of Owls. I reread Batman Year One. I've been reading a little bit of the more Batman and Superman. I don't know if you've read that series. That's a good series.
I have not.
Batman and Superman.
I have Batman Year One and The Dark Knight Returns on my shelf, and I just haven't gotten around to reading them.
You should definitely read Batman Year One. It's really good. I can't really speak about The Dark Knight because little bit of a shocker here. I actually have not read The Dark Knight.
I've seen the animated adaptation of The Dark Knight, and it was pretty good. So I have high hopes for the comics.
Yeah, I do. I have read The Killing Joke though because of my good friend David, who just had a question answered. But yeah, he was the one who like gave me a book to read The Killing Joke, and it was really fucking good. It's really dark, disturbing, but it's really good.
Isn't that? Do you care if I talk about spoilers, Johnny?
Nope, not at all.
Isn't that the one where like he paralyzes Barbara Gordon,
Yeah, that's
the Joker?
It is. It's disturbing, but it's really good. It's a really good story. And saying that, as someone who has a pretty good, I would say I have a pretty good comic lineup of reading Batman comics. This is probably in my opinion, the most accurate live action Batman we've gotten on film. Live action specifically.
Which one?
Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
I would
honestly.
say that.
I don't know enough about the comics or the
Most accurate
comics.
of modern comics, right?
Modern comics, even I would say the '90s comics, the '80s, '90s comics. Okay. He's really good because Batman as a character hasn't. Not that he hasn't evolved. It's that his core values haven't really shifted a whole lot. He's changed as a character from that time frame, but his core values have always remained the same. And this is like the most accurate depiction, I believe, of his core values. Bruce. This is something I've had a very big issue with the Snyder movies. Batman's biggest thing, the reason why he's a superhero, the reason why he does the things he does, is because he values human life. That's the reason he doesn't have that's the reason why he has the no killing rule. And people think it's fucking stupid. And people who say that haven't read a goddamn Batman comic and are also stupid and also get euthanized. But
so yeah, imagine getting someone isn't bloodthirsty and killing.
Because people are like, because I feel like this is the first Batman movie we're gonna have where people aren't gonna be like, well, why doesn't Batman just give his money to save the city? Because it's like a corrupted society. Sorry to use the Joker word, but it's corrupted, and it's. I love. This is a weird tangent. I love the character of Gotham City in this movie. It is so dirty and disgusting, and I love it. It is the first time I've seen a Batman live-action movie, and I've been like, yeah, this place is fucking disgusting, gross, and I hate this place. I would never want to live here, and I love that.
I agree.
Like, you have corruption within the cop city, you have the disgusting, dirty atmosphere of, like, when it's daytime especially. When you see it, it's like I don't know. I'm not a very good,
all the smog.
Yeah, the smog. And even at nighttime, with like even the rain, I don't. It's perfect.
I know that it's like it's always raining or overcast here.
Yeah. Batman's first scene in the movie when you first see him in the suit when he's going up against those thugs, perfect. I love that. That's so.
I love how brutal Rod is. Yeah, he just beats the shit out of them.
Mm-hmm. He's like. And I love his character arc from the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie, where he learns to become a superhero. That's his character arc. He becomes not just a deity of chaos and vengeance. He becomes a hero by the end of the movie.
That totally makes sense. I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
Because to me, he becomes Batman in the scene where he uses the batarang to cut the wire, and he gets into the water and he uses the
Yeah.
flare to save the civilians. That's the first time he becomes
Yep.
a hero and not just vengeance. I love this movie so
Fact.
much. I could talk my ass off about this movie. I could do deep dives. This is it's just great. The only complaint I think I have for the movie, I do need to go rewatch it too. But the only complaint I can think of in my head right now is like, I do wish we got to see a little bit more of Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne, I get
That would have been nice. Yeah.
I get what they're doing for this version. He's very isolated. He's very secluded. So obviously he's not going to be a pompous playboy billionaire. But I would have liked to seen a little bit more Bruce Wayne, because that is a
That's
quintessential.
true.
It's a quintessential part of the Batman story, of the Batman mythos. Is Batman and Bruce Wayne are almost two different characters. Well, they essentially are two different characters, and that's
No identity.
yeah, and they're both they're both a dynamic that work well together.
See, I kind of disagree with that one because I felt in this film, and they did it really well. They sort of merged those identities into one. Batman's problems were Bruce's problems, and Bruce's were Batman's. So whenever we saw Batman on the screen, we weren't just looking at like things through Batman's perspective. It was also Bruce. So to me personally, it felt like we did get to see him a lot because he was always on screen. Because him and Batman sort of were one.
Yeah, I like
That's a good point.
that's a good
He's
point.
become a predator at night. Totally makes sense.
Yeah. And I do think this is also one of my favorite live action depictions of a villain for Batman, because we did have the Riddler and he was really good. I do not remember.
I
the
really
man,
like.
I don't remember the man who plays this, and I always think it's kind of funny. The second time when I saw it, and I was like, oh, when they reveal the Riddler and he's like out of his costume, he's just a white man, just a regular white man. I always think that's kind of funny.
What is it? Yeah, I honestly really liked how like all the Dark Knight or Arkham Knight games kind of changed into this grittier modern take on the supervillains, and I feel like this Riddler totally fits in with that aesthetic.
Mhm.
Like it is so cool.
You can really tell that Matt Reeves like cares about Batman in this movie, because he specifically goes out of his way, for one, to say like, oh, the no killing rule. That's like one of like I feel like that's something lost because of the Snyder movies and recent media of Batman, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But he's thankfully brought it back into the limelight, and he's also, you can clearly tell that this movie pulls inspirations from the Dark Knight specifically and the Arkham games.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I should go
What do you
and
think,
play
Paul?
those games again. Man, it's been a long time since I played the Arkham games. I've been thinking about it since I've been playing Spider-Man PS4 too, because like I've been thinking about making a comparison video between the two of them.
One thing
Fair
I did
enough.
want to mention, I know this is sort of retreading old topics, but my thoughts on like Batman killing is honestly I'm kind of mixed on it. Like on the one point, I get what you're saying, like it is a part of his character, it's what he doesn't do. But at the other hand, like some of the best Batman movies, you know, the Dark Knight trilogy, he kills in almost every single one of them at least one person, you know? Like,
To me,
I mean, he just does.
to me that's the if here's the thing for me, Batman in the no kill rule. The no kill rule grounds Batman, and it gives him the sense of moral guidance, and it gives the story conflict, because in most Batman comics it would just be easy for Bruce Wayne to go up to the villain, say the Joker, and fucking snap his neck, but he doesn't do that, and it raises the moral question of why he doesn't do that, and it always delves into like these really cool, deep, like unpackaging of Batman's inner psyche and why he doesn't do the things he do, and why he does do the things that he does do, and whether it's morally correct whether he's doing it or not. I fucking love that shit. That shit's like gets me turned on.
I agree. I think for me, it's just it seems sort of hypocritical for me to be like, "Oh, Batman shouldn't kill. That's why he was bad in the Snyder Cut." But then, you know, my favorite Batman movie, you know, he kills Harvey Dent.
Yeah.
he doesn't intention. I think it's the intent behind
There
it.
is all there's
People
that thing
die
too.
around it all the time.
Well, what about like Batman
Yeah.
Begins, where he leaves Ra's al Ghul to die? Like technically, he doesn't put the final bullet in him, but I mean, we're kind of splitting hairs at that point, you know?
I think
He left
that's
him to
before
die.
I think that's before he grew as the person he is.
I
He's always
think that's
trying to
after he
achieve-
grew, because that's sort of at the conclusion of the film, you know, where he's like finally come to terms with everything. He's had the emotional talk with Alfred and all.
Hmm.
I don't know.
But yeah, I would love to hear what the audience thinks. What do you guys think of Batman's no kill rule? Anything like that? I know a lot of.
I do think it is. Oh, sorry,
No.
was that?
No, you go ahead, Scully.
I was just going to add one last thing. Is like, I do agree. It does make the stories pretty interesting when he doesn't kill.
But yeah, I do know some people who are probably listening, who I probably answered a question to already, who have very strong opinions of this, and some other people too. But yeah, there's that. I'm not gonna bore the audience with some more Batman. Although I fucking love this movie, I need to go see it again. But
Yeah, I've only seen it twice.
you've seen it twice, right?
I've only
Yeah,
seen it
yeah.
twice.
This is unfortunately I haven't seen this movie twice yet. I I love this movie so much. I just don't have the time to like.
Honestly,
It's my biggest problem right now is I need time to go do things like watch movies in the theater. I miss it so much, man. That's one of my favorite things about being
It
back in
feels
like
good.
this. Being able to watch movies in the theater is such a magical experience. I think it's one of the best.
it's more of a
experiences.
tradition. It's a modern tradition more because we can watch them at home most of the time, anyways, but we still do it. It's
Yeah.
traditional.
There's this thing that I always like to bring up is the movie theater magic, and movie theater magic is special to me because even if a movie's bad or you don't like the movie as much as you think you do, the movie theater experience makes you like that movie more. If that makes sense,
That's true.
because that's what movie theater magic is. It's meant to engross you, entice you into what you're watching, and makes you love, even if you don't really like the thing you're watching. I can recall a couple films, like the Fast and Furious movie that I saw in theaters, fucking Fast and Furious 8, I think. I remember really loving
Mhm.
that movie. That movie's dog shit. That's what movie theater magic does to you. It tricks you, plays with your
It
mind.
sells you on the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I do think The Batman is not one of those movies. I think this is just genuinely a really fucking good movie.
Honestly.
And I cannot wait for more content. Because they're making a new Arkham Asylum TV show out of it. And then they're also
Yep, and the Catwoman show and the Penguin show.
they're making a Catwoman show?
Or a movie or something. I'm pretty sure it is a Catwoman show, but yeah, that's what I think.
That's okay. I actually didn't know that. I just knew about the Arkham series, and then there was going to be the Penguin series. I knew that. And then obviously there's going to be
You're
a sequel.
a sequel. Yeah.
I'm so excited.
I'll be honest, I'm way more interested in the sequel than either of those shows. The show sound aight, but like,
Yeah.
I want to see more of
Yeah, I agree.
Batman.
Yeah.
Batman and the Arkham Asylum one looks promising.
Yeah, the Arkham Asylum one sounds interesting. I'm pretty sure I know because we all seen the movie. So spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen the movie. This is the one spoiler warning I'll give. But we do see the Joker in the movie. There's
I like how we give the spoiler warning like 30 minutes after we start talking about the film.
Honestly, what I was thinking of that. I was like, bro, why do you give it now? Like, I assume that was a given.
well, my bad. But yeah, we do see the Joker.
You didn't think any of the other stuff was spoilers?
Not particularly. But, oh well. This is like the most spoily thing.
Yes, that is true.
I know some people care about it, but yeah, there's the Joker. He's there. He's played by that one white kid in Eternals.
I didn't see Eternals.
I know Scully has.
Oh, Sprite?
Not Sprite. He's played by the one who
Icarus?
Not Icarus. The dude who controls minds. That little like.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, the scrawny white.
I
boy.
mean, honestly, I'm not going to comment on him because, like, anyone can really play Joker if they're dedicated enough. Like, if you look at Heath Ledger before he has the makeup on and after, like, you wouldn't think he'd be able to do a good Joker.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I do remember that conversation going around back in the day. People being like, this Joker, he's not gonna do good as the Joker. He's gonna suck." But
Yeah,
turns out he's probably probably the best live action Joker.
and that's what people said
Yeah.
about Robert Pattinson too. When they heard he was getting cast, they're like, "No, he's terrible as Batman. He's just not right for it." And then he's like one of the best Batmans ever.
Honestly, the only
I
thing,
think he's the best.
most people I remember saying that kind of stuff were like 13-year-old kids who were like, "Ooh, Twilight." Ugh. That's what I remember.
Yeah, bro. And anyone who's seen The Lighthouse knows he does good acting, man.
Yo, him and
He
Willem
was
Dafoe.
amazing in that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, don't
that
spoil
movie
the
was
Lighthouse
so
for me. I need to see that or something.
I'm not.
Okay, yeah,
But
we
the
can't spoil-
characters they both play, they're not the actors, man. I swear, they're completely like they look the same, but they're totally irrecognizable with their characters and the dialogue. It's so good.
You know who could be a good older Joker? William Dafoe.
Yeah, we just saw a meme about that. Me and Scully earlier.
Yeah. Isn't it the one where he's on SNL and he's like, "You know who you'd be good as? The Joker. Good to know that I have the vibes of a sociopath," or some shit like that.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
Yeah.
I just think his voice, like when he was like Green Goblin and Spider Man, he sounds like really crazy. I just thought he could
And
be
his
really
face.
good Joker.
He can do it. It's because he has that expressive face. He can do a lot. Basically, William Dafoe could probably do most things.
Willem Dafoe was fucking amazing as the Green Goblin in that movie.
Bro, I would see him cast as Belle in Beauty and the Beast, honestly,
Honestly?
and he'd pull it off.
Yeah.
I'd watch the hell out of that too.
Would you like to
The
kiss
Beast-
me, Beast?
Who plays the Beast though?
Oh, who plays the Beast? That's the question.
The Beast.
You just have a really like attractive actor play the
Seth
Beast.
Rogen.
No, Seth Rogen. Chris Pratt could be like one of the little instruments or whatever they have.
Come
He could be the candle holder.
Yeah, sure. He can be the can hold.
Don't you want to kiss me? Lock me up?
You just take the entire Mario cast and you just turn it into the Beauty and the Beast film. You got like Jack Black as the clock. He's
Didn't he
all-
play the clock in the live action one they made?
What about him?
Didn't he play the clock?
Did he?
I don't remember.
Someone
Uh,
played the clock.
No, the guy.
Well, yeah, obviously. I should hope so.
I remember. There was a guy who looked like Jack Black. That guy who plays Olaf. He was the gay person in that movie.
Yeah, he was like
Yeah, not him.
he was the little guy.
The guy that simps for Gaston, the first simp in history.
I mean,
Wasn't Gaston played by the same guy who played Bard in The Hobbit?
yeah. Weren't we all?
He was a good Gaston, and the Beast was good, and Belle was good. It was just everything else in the movie was bad,
Weren't we
I
all
don't remember the
singing-
movie being bad. I just remember it being there.
mediocre. It was just mediocre.
You know
That's
what
the problem
is-
with it.
But you know what live action Disney remake is actually bad? Like complete trash.
Which one?
The Lion King.
I have not seen it.
I do not recommend it. It is worthless garbage, trash.
Even with Donald Glover as a freaking Mufasa, or Simba. I
He was
mean,
Mufasa?
Who's Simba?
He's Simba. I hate to say it. Yeah.
Wait, okay, I'll be honest. I have not seen The Lion King in like a decade. Which one is Simba?
Simba's
kid.
the kid.
Donald Glover plays the kid?
He
Yup.
plays him when he doesn't play him as like when he's a kid. He plays him when he's like a teenager.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. I was gonna say the
I can
lion
just
sounds like a
imagine
full
him
grown
spitting
man.
bars. He just starts spitting bars in the middle of the set.
He starts spitting that. Have you guys seen Regular Show? The episode where he's in, he just speaks like that.
Yeah,
I saw Aladdin, like the live action Aladdin. It wasn't bad, but I think you can do a lot more with the animation, especially when it comes to the genie, than you can live action. You know?
Yeah.
yeah.
I never understand these whole like let's make everything live action. I don't know.
I don't get it. Yeah, some things fit better in different formats.
See, there's a reason though, because all these live action movies make a ton of money. I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
The live action Lion King movie, quote unquote live action, is I think it's so far the highest grossing animated film ever in history. Because it's
Wait a minute, is
There you
that
go.
film actually live action? Because isn't all the characters CGI?
Yeah, everything in that movie is CGI. I don't know why it's called
But-
live action.
It's designed to be photorealistic. That's what they call that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It is funny.
make a live action film, don't actually have any real people.
That's the thing about most of these live action movies is because they're taking basis off of like fucking animated spritzy witsies characters, like these fucking. Most of the shit is CGI. Like half of it, I bet you more than half of it is animated, and like the last like 30-40% is live action. Except for maybe Beauty and the Beast, maybe.
I think there's a lot of animation in it. Literally everything in the house is animated.
In the Beast's house, yeah. It's listen. I've seen
And the Beast.
in the Beast. I can't stop thinking about Willem Dafoe, the fucking wig, going, "Do you want to kiss me now?"
But he's standing on his hoverboard, like in the Green Goblin suit,
In the Green Goblin suit.
with a wig on, helmet, mask, the mask part up, floating there like that scene where he's like floating in front of Peter.
Come on, Peter.
You want to kiss me?
And like what he does is he steals the rose and then they get it back and it's got like a bomb inside.
Don't you want to kiss me, Peter? And he throws the bomb and he kills him.
And Seth Rogen's like one of his favorite characters on SNL. He's just playing him, or he's dressed like him as he's the Beast, but he's like super buff, like really buff. So no CGI in this movie, of course.
Of course. So it's just a bunch of
They have
like
to make the hoverboard.
a real life hoverboard, like Back to the Future. Hell yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think one last thing to talk about because you just brought up hoverboard. They're making the new fucking Back to the Future Lego set. The new DeLorean. That shit looks clean.
Looks fire.
That shit's fire.
Dude. The thing that got me excited the most though was that it actually included a minifig because they did like an Ecto 1. I don't think it had any characters, right?
The Ecto 1, I don't think did. No. I think it was
But like
just
when
the
I
car.
saw that Doc and Marty, dude, like I was sold.
And it's an improvement on the original one, too. Because I have the original one right here. Yeah. I have the original one.
The original one is not that good, not gonna lie.
It's not
Like
the
it's-
greatest. It was the first Lego... I think it's the first Lego Idea set ever. Or one of the first.
It's one of the early ones, I know that.
But yeah, my main
Yeah, that's a
problem...
pretty good set.
My main problem with it, it's to me, I really love it. It's really charming. But the main problem to me is because it's the DeLorean, the hood should be flat. You know,
Yeah.
it should.
Also,
Yeah.
like they use like tubings for like the wheel covery parts. I forgot the name.
Yeah, and it's.
It wasn't terrible, but like it definitely. I'd say most of all, it shows its age.
It does show his age, unfortunately. But I'm really excited for this new one because I'm definitely grabbing it. I fucking love Back to the Future and I love the fucking DeLorean, so I definitely have to grab it. My only
You see, they're making a new DeLorean too.
what?
You see, they're making a new DeLorean as well.
Like a new DeLorean like car?
Yeah,
Yep.
an electric one.
Oh really?
Yeah, they're making a new one.
Shit, I might have to get a new car.
Bro, it's probably gonna be a shit ton of money.
It is going to be. I can guarantee it. But
Like I want it, dude, but
See,
I can't
for,
afford it.
for me, it's like most people ask me, it's like, what is your dream car? And I don't really have one because I'm not really a car person.
James, after seeing this car, you might actually have a dream car. Let me send the picture.
But the DeLorean, I've always really wanted a DeLorean. That's the only one. If I had to pick one, it'd be a DeLorean. Are you sending it to me on Instagram? Or the...
No, group chat in Discord
Okay.
in general, but it's loading. There it goes.
That is...
Wait, which is it? The one on the right or left?
I'm looking at the one on the left. That one's pretty smexy.
That's the old DeLorean. That's the new DeLorean on the right, the fancy looking one.
What? It doesn't look like a DeLorean.
Doesn't look like one, no, but it looks good.
I'm kind of disappointed now.
I'm
not gonna lie.
disappointed, honestly. I like the old one better.
Like I knew they were going to update the design, obviously. Like that's a given. But like it doesn't. Unless you told me it's a DeLorean, I wouldn't know. That's the problem.
Yeah, I think that's it too. I wouldn't recognize it as a DeLorean. But the old ones, though, man, if I found one at a junkyard, that'd be my fixer-upper dream car.
Fortunately, I heard it wasn't a very good car.
I think it. Yeah, I did hear that too. I heard it was all for show and not really practical.
Yeah,
I know
but that's kind of
it's sad.
sad. The new one doesn't look like it.
I hope the doors like fling upwards. That's the only thing I can hope for. Because I thought that was so cool as a kid.
Yeah.
All right. So we've been on here for a bit, so I think we're gonna call it an episode here. But if for some reason you like what you heard, please like and subscribe. If you have any topics or questions you want us to answer, obviously I have Instagram. You can ask me there, or you can ask me in the comment section. All of that fun stuff. And with that being said, we're gonna call it a night here. So goodbye.